so no, looking good. Alright. Today's video might be slightly shorter. As you can tell, I'm tired. Made some dumb decisions last night, stayed up late, and then had to wake up early. Horrible start to my day. But I realized I started off with a negative day, took a cold shower, released some negative energy, proceeded with my day, did what I had to do, got to dance, got my energy going, interview vibing, got my whole duet done and choreographed. I ran my solo a few times, so it feels pretty good. A few things I still have to work with on that, but I'll have that. Gotta really visualize myself on stage tomorrow. Saturday, I have my birthday dinner with family and a friend. A friend, as in back to the period of solitude, as always. I've got one consistent friend, that's all I need. So he'll be there. But today's video is about the topic of your mind only has the power that you give it. It only has the power that you allow it to have. That's the video. So speaking about that, sorry, really tired. If you are working out while you're listening, doing whatever, always warm up, wrist, arm circles, leg circles, a few jumping jacks, roll your ankles around, roll your wrist, roll your neck, your head. Make sure you're breathing the entire time. So, your mind, you giving your mind the power, kind of means that when you're in a situation and you're like, oh, I can't do it, you're right, because you've told yourself in your head that you can't do it. Your mind's like, all right, well, I can't physically, I can't mentally, I can't emotionally do this. Then you won't be able to. The man who says, he can and the man who says he can't are both correct. So, the man who's like, all right, I can do this. I might not know what I'm doing, but I know that I can do it, will always succeed. He'll always, unless he stops and, backs away from it or whatever, he will succeed eventually, or she, whatever you are. And that goes to show, like, with addiction and depression, unless you are clinically proven, like, by a doctor or whatever, that you have depression or anxiety, then it is purely a mind state. It's purely what you let affect you and how your brain looks at it. Like, for me, and the reason I can I can actually practice what I say, practice what I preach, is because I've been in a depressive state. I've wanted to kill myself before. I've had that negative mental. So I know what it feels like to be there. It's not like I'm speaking from no experience of that type of feeling. But I've gotten myself out of that place simply because of changing my mindset. That's as simple as it is. You're not depressed about anything. You're sad about something, and you let that sadness turn into what you think is depression, and then in turn you tell yourself you're depressed when you're really not, and you end up being not depressed, because being clinically depressed, I don't want to say it's hard to be clinically depressed, but I guess at a certain point you continue to tell yourself, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I'm depressed, and eventually you become depressed. You are depressed. But in that stages in which leading it up to, you've become a slave to your own mind. You have no control over what you think and how you feel and how you act, because your mind is, all right, well, look, I have the ability to be like, all right, well, let's do this, and you're done for. You're done. Because, like, right now, if I tell you to think about an elephant, you thought about an elephant. You didn't just sit there and your mind wasn't like, oh, don't think about an elephant. You thought about an elephant, you envisioned it, You may or may not have solid, depending on how good your mind is or whatever. But I told you that, and you thought of it. You know what I mean? So you can't tell the human mind to be like, no, say no to addiction. No, because if you tell it to say no, then it's ultimately gonna want to go back to that addiction one way or another. Whether that's switching it without another addiction, switching it out with another addiction, increasing your addiction for it, like your strive, your hunger for it. There's many ways that can go. So the second you say you can't do something, or that it's better than you, or an addiction, like if you're an alcoholic and you're like, oh, I'm an alcoholic, I can't stop. Well, then you're never gonna stop. You're gonna drink yourself to death. You know what I mean? Or, oh, I smoke weed. I don't, but, oh, I smoke weed. Oh, I vape. Oh, I vape. Oh, I vape. You are like, oh, I'm such a Nick fiend. Oh, I can't get away from my vape. Then you won't ever be able to, because you've become a slave to the, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. But if you would change your self-talk into more of a, all right, look, I might not know how, but I'm trying to change, and I'm working towards it, then eventually you will, because even if you're addicted to something, like, okay, crack, a hard type of drug that is an addictive substance, that's harder. I will admit that's got a level of complexity to it that I won't be getting into. But when it comes to, depression or feeling bad or having anxiety or feeling stressed, or like a nicotine addiction, a smoking addiction, drinking addiction, and a moral addiction when it comes to like sexual immorality, any of that, like if you're like, oh, I can't get away from it, like I have a strive for it, I have a hunger for it, I have a lust for it, and I can't get away from it, you never will be able to. You'll always be stuck in the same position. And it also goes hand in hand, and if you want to change it. So like if you think about it and you're like, oh, I'm overweight and I wanna look better, but I have no strive for it, or I have no, oh, let me go to the gym, then you never will succeed either. Because if you, oh, sorry, if you're like, oh, I'm overweight, but I don't want to be overweight and I want to lose the weight, then you have a higher chance of actually proceeding and doing that, because you're telling yourself, all right, well, you have a goal in mind. Although that goal might not be, oh, make 10K this month. Or if you have a business, if you tell yourself like, oh, I want to run a business, but I don't know how to, and I have no idea what to do, I have no idea where to start, well, then you're not going to do it either ways. Anyways, you might as well not even think about it, because then you have no ability to do it. You have to actually want it, and then you have to actually change it. It's kind of it's two-step process. There's a few baby steps in between, but it's really just all right, well, look, I want to change it, which is the recognition of it. Sorry, there's three big steps to this process specifically. Is you realize it and you admit it. So I have a problem with nicotine. I have a problem with wanting things. I have a problem with drinking. I have a problem with feeling as though I'm depressed and feeling like I'm in a state of depression, although I'm not. It is purely my mental or anxiety. I'm very anxious. I'm always very stressed. But you let yourself become stressed. So acknowledging it and realizing it and admitting it, wanting to change it is the second one, is wanting to change it, meaning, like, I do have a nicotine addiction, I understand it, all right, and I'm not proud of that. Let me change it. Let me get away from vaping. Let me get away from drinking. Let me get away from smoking, whatever. And third is actually changing it. So it goes mental, because you acknowledge it, you want to remove it from your life, and you act upon that. So it's a process, and takes a long time. Well, it takes a while, and there's things you'll try and do that won't work, and then you'll try things, other things will work. It's just a process of actually wanting to remove it from your life, which is when you actually are able to remove it from your life. Because if you have no drive to remove it, then you have no drive to want to act upon it. I'm not gonna hit my body too hard today because I have competition tomorrow, so my workout's gonna be pretty short after this, but I'm gonna do these planches. Okay, should be good. Whoa. I severely messed my form up that time. So, I think it's because I'm tired already today. But, point progression. Alright. Like I said, today's video is going to be shorter. Probably next video, probably be about gratification, being thankful. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching. I don't think I'm making a video tomorrow. I'll attempt to, but I got competition, so we'll see. Finish the workout, take a cold shower, go to bed. As always, I'm saying, the man who believes the journey is over is truly lost, and he's no better. The man that believes the journey is over has truly lost, and is worse than the man who knows to continue fighting. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Loving the hair. Good pumping. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.